I love contractors that work really well with property managers, and West Oz Trades are proudly Perth-owned and operated, servicing the Perth metro area for all air conditioning and refrigeration requirements in the residential and commercial sectors. We use them in our business. They are great to deal with, and if you are looking for someone to service and install your air cons in Perth, give the team at West Oz Trades a call.
Let's step into the philanthropic investors, and I have been known to say that every single time we do an article, you do an article, someone comes forward, and exactly what you just said, people want to help. They just didn't know that, this was an option. Yeah. So philanthropic investing, from my point of view, is a investor who is in a position to be able to accept a lower than market rate for their property, and also an investor who is wanting to give back, and they can do that through property. And we see this a lot with very old school owners, and I actually have some on my books as well. I've got an owner. He's not one of my philanthropic clients, but he sort of is, and he owns about 15 properties. And when we go do a rent increase, I remember once he said to me, "Do not be mean with my rent increase this year, Ash." And I wasn't being mean, but it was like, but you can get this much per week. And he does not feel comfortable because he's of that old school mentality. He does not feel comfortable at all taking, $300 a week for a property when $200 is perfectly fine for him. And obviously all his rents that are renewed are all at the lower end, because that's his financial position. That's what sits comfortably with him. I also do want to stress, though, with investors is that every investor's in a different position. And as a property manager, even just having that discussion with your new clients when they come on board, to let them know that you also have a philanthropic program if it's something that suits them. If not, this is the market rate. Just giving people the options is, number one, super helpful, and let them decide, because you don't know what their financial position's like. You don't know what their experience is like. We've had people that have had children that have gone through DV and have gone, you know what, this is what I want to do to give back. So who are we to just assume that they want the traditional way? Like again, thinking outside the box, why wouldn't you just give them that second option and just see what happens? Create
the opportunity.
Yeah, absolutely. Create the opportunity for investors. I think you'll be surprised at how many come forward. So from a property manager point of view, obviously we've got the philanthropic clients. They help you by providing a significant amount less. Yeah. Generally, the way the conversation will go from my point of view. So with Arana, the families do need to have a property manager involved. Like, a landlord can't be privately managing the tenancy. So that's still the case.
Always. Yeah, it's good for everyone.
Yep. And then the conversation we would have with the clients is what do you need? Like, what's the minimum you need? So they know what their mortgage is, what their bills are, what they're comfortable with. We generally let them come to us, but we do say to them, listen, most families in the program have an affordability, say between, don't quote me on this, maybe it's $400 to $500 a week, for
perfect.
example.
That's accurate.
Great. I should have checked that with you before I said that and put you in that position. So then we would say that's where most families can afford. So if you can get back to me with what you're comfortable with, and we can see whether it works. And then they will say, yep, actually I would need 480. No worries. We'll put that forward to you. We've got this property in this suburb. Owner wants 480 per week. Do you have a family that this would suit?
Yeah.
It's as simple as
it works exactly like that.
Yeah. And the way that it's looked after is exactly the way every tenancy would be, except we are not needing to advertise the property. We're just putting it straight through to Arana. You guys find a family that it suits. The application still gets done, though it's not really processed. It's just a formality. Lease agreement, property condition report, all of it's done as a normal tenancy would be done. And the only bit that we're shortcutting is the fact where not advertising it on the current market, and we are accepting a tenancy application.
Not sifting through 100
and not
of
sifting
them.
through 100.
Yeah, no, it's great.
It's pretty easy.
I think so. It acts as an additional reference because we know these women.
Yeah.
You know, we know how they live. We've seen how they care for their property. We know a bit about their background, and we know that they're housing ready. So it's an extra layer of security. If you compared that perhaps with someone who might be, you know, presenting really strongly because they've got a big FIFO income, for example. They're barely home. They've got a big dog. When they come home, they're having big parties. They're, you know, doing all kinds of things that are a property manager's nightmare. That's not the case with these women. No. These are women who've got, you know, usually 1 or 2 young kids, and they're just trying to, as you mentioned earlier, reconnect with community, get their kids back to school, get everything back on track. They're working, they're studying, they're rebuilding.
Yeah. So this is going into, and I apologise actually to you two because I haven't really gone through those questions that you have
not at all.
that you have so well prepared for, and I'm putting you on the spot, but you're both doing very, very well.
I haven't flipped the page once because we haven't even.
No.
Yeah.
It's good because I forgot my reading glasses anyway.
Fantastic. Excellent. So we probably haven't got to the point of because the program maybe hasn't been done long enough for us to sort of have these case studies. But one thing as a property manager I do focus on, because my priority, I understand your priority is definitely the families, and my priority is that the investor, as much as obviously it is your families as well, but really it does come down to the investor. That's who I'm looking after. So I try to have really good conversations with them to understand their responsibilities, making sure that they're suitable for the program, but also to have the understanding that the purpose of this program is for the families to be given a new start, to be able to develop a reference so that when they do go out into the normal market, they have got the rental reference, which is going to make it easy, which is pretty much all they're going to need. Hopefully they've gone through, finished their studying, got their stable income, got themselves mentally in the right headspace so that they can provide the opportunity for that home to another family, and then they can move on into the normal rental market. So that's really what we want to see. So I'm bringing that up here because I think that there is a lot of people that might, you know, think as well if there's investors listening to this that, you know, you're offering a cheap rent for 5 years to the same family, and that's not really my intention. However, when a tenancy does renew after 12 months, we do definitely look at the tenant situation. If they haven't finished their study, if they're not in the place where we want them to be able to go out in confidence, we're not going to put them in that position at all. But we definitely do want to monitor it. So we're helping as many people as possible. So we haven't really got to that stage yet, have we, where we've had to put one of the families back into the open market?
Not really, though. We do have some amazing case studies.
Yeah.
So, 3 years down the track of this program, we have got some beautiful testimonials from the investor's perspective, and that's been really encouraging. And we know that they would give a glowing reference if the time came that they wanted to take in a new tenant. But to be honest, some of the landlords that we've been speaking with recently, they're just really pleased with how it's going for now, and they're happy to give it a bit more time.
Yeah. Obviously for that same tenant. I've got a couple of investors that have said to me they've bought just their first portfolio, but they're planning on building on that. And quite a few of them have said, Ash, I can't do it for this property because we've just purchased it and we're just starting out, but that is definitely in their portfolio plan to buy a property that is suitable for them to put into the program. So as an investor, having your portfolio of, say, 5 properties with one of them being what we call a philanthropic property is a great portfolio plan as well. Make your money off the other 4 properties, and let's have one where you're still making money, but
balance it.
Yeah, correct.
And we have a lot of people where they'll reach out to us, private homeowners, where they'll have a property where they're not too sure what they're going to do with it. They don't know if they're going to sell it, if they're going to gift it to family. It's kind of like just sitting there stagnant, and they want to put it to good use, if you want to say.
Yeah.
Yes, we have a lot of that, which is good, really good.
Yeah, we've had some owners that have gone into nursing homes, haven't we?
Yeah.
Some that are just not ready to sell.
We've had a couple recently where it's been people who've inherited a place.
Yes.
Yeah.
And they've said, oh, look, I've already got a home. I'm feeling kind of, a little bit guilty even, a bit of a privilege overwhelm. And they've just said, look, maybe I could do this. And look, it's still in the family. It's still, gaining in value. But in the meantime, I can feel really good about what I've done with this inheritance in my lifetime, not waiting till I pass away.
Yes.
I'm actually making a difference and doing some good right here, right now.
Yeah, and actually that's just a really great point. It's also those investors that are wanting the capital growth more than the cash flow. They don't need the cash flow growth, but the capital is why they've got the property. I don't know whether you guys follow me on TikTok or not.
I do.
Not on TikTok.
Yeah, it's a good thing. It's a good thing. So I'm going to throw a really, really curly question out to you.
Oh, gosh.
I know.
Between not giving us the questions and now throwing a curly one.
This one's yours.
So on TikTok, I'm just trying to think how I'm going to word this best. On TikTok, I talk about philanthropic investing, and I have been crucified by people who hate investors. And here I am trying to promote that there are some really great investors out there. And I get told that all investors are a piece of shit. And just because they're philanthropic doesn't mean that, it just makes them feel better about making money type thing, really still negative to it. And it's very disappointing. And I've actually had, I don't know if you've read the comments, I've actually had one person on there say, I think that a Rana House should sit Ashley down and talk to her about,
Oh, gosh.
I think we can stop you from, having people accumulating property portfolios. I don't think I've got that much influence.
So a Rana House, and I'm looking at the camera as I say this, so I've got a Rana House sitting me down talking about it, about the philanthropic investing and why people see it or choose to see investors in such a negative light. It really, really drives me up the wall because it's putting a real negative spin on people that are doing such good stuff. And like you said, there's reasons why people have got properties. Maybe they've inherited it. Maybe the owners have gone into a nursing home. Lots of different reasons. And then people here doing good by it, yet investors are still getting slammed for making money. It's very, very hard to hear. I've actually backed off a little bit on that philanthropic because they think it's a bullshit term, but I don't know what other term to use for it. I mean, that's the best word, isn't it?
Look, I mean, in an ideal world, there'd all be, one home per person and everyone would have everything equal.
Yeah.
And we could destroy capitalism and it'd be fantastic. That's a ton of work. I'm not sure you can do it all by yourself, Ash.
No. I'll just block and ignore. We'll finish off by talking about what do you guys need from property managers right now? Do you need homes? Do you need money? Do you need support? What do you need?
That all sounds great.
All of
the above.
Yeah, look, let's come back to just saying, let's bring a little bit of human connection back into the conversation. Let's stop chasing, meaningless figures and think about how we can go and work with purpose every day. And if you're in that privileged position to invest with purpose. I guess don't turn a blind eye to what is right there in your street, in your neighbourhood, everywhere, at your local park, at your local school. Be tuned in, realise just how prevalent it is and realise that there is something that you can do.
Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Property Me is Australia's #1 property management software used to successfully manage over 1.8 million properties all over Australia and New Zealand. Two of my favourite features include the at mention, which means that in the activity feed of a property contact, inspection, job or task, I'm simply able to type at with a team member's name and I can send them instant notification, which streamlines our internal communication. The second feature that I love is being able to upload upload our listings directly from Property Me. It uploads through to all the major portals, and it means that we can keep all our processes within the one program, which is really helpful when scaling our business. To book in a demo, contact your state manager who will come out and do it for you. Otherwise, contact the team directly at Property Me.
Just have the conversation, have the conversation with the landlords, because if they don't know that there is this opportunity to help families, then you don't know if they're actually going to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. And even just, so any of our impact agents that are with us at the moment, if they're listening, just spreading the word and let other property managers know you've had a good experience, and just spread the good vibes out there and let's all come together, because that's been really good. And you've been so helpful in this aspect. I mean, we had someone come on board and they really wanted to help a family. And I was like, where have you heard about us? It was through Ashley. And I was
that
like,
right?
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah, and I mean, they've helped house 2 families and beautiful families. Oh my God, they're doing so good at the moment. And I was like, that's just so good. I mean, we essentially didn't have to do anything. It just came to us just because you had a positive conversation with her. So it holds so much weight. It really does.
Yeah. No, that's so good. I think that, the biggest takeaway for people listening is give the opportunity to your landlords. So new business coming up, have a chat to them. Here's your market rate. Here's also a second option if you would like to go down the philanthropic road. Then you've got the second option, which could even be, which I don't do, but it could be an option, just sort of thinking of ideas, is that when a property comes up that you think is suitable for Arana and it's coming up for release, then saying to the owners, listen, would you like to release it to the open market? Or we have got a program with our office which is for philanthropic investing if it's something that might suit you. Maybe it could be that an owner currently, let's say hypothetically, their owner's been getting $450 per week, but now that tenant's moving out and now the rent's $700 per week, but the owner might be like, you know what, actually I'm quite happy on that $450 a week I've been getting. So, putting it through to one of the families would be a good idea. And like you said, having property managers having those conversations with each other and advertising that you're an impact agent, marketing about it, talking about it so that more people go, hey, what's an impact agent? What does that do? It's literally just around those conversations that, and not only giving the landlords and the investors the opportunity, but giving your property managers, giving your team the opportunity. It's really, let's put work aside from a personal level. It's giving everyone an opportunity to live with purpose and to work with purpose. Yeah,
definitely. Yeah, for sure. I mean, that would be really helpful, definitely, because we really would love to get more people on board.
Do you have a goal or not really?
You know what? I think I've just had my head down and just so busy that I haven't even thought about that.
No.
But I do have to say I really do love what we do for work. I really do love it. I mean, I never get that. Sometimes you go into work and you're like, oh, like I might get, if I feel tired or something, I'd be, but my work batteries, if that's what you want to call them, are charged like massively once someone get housed or when they've been housed and I go to visit them. The change that I see in the women is just, I just can't describe it. They look different. They look totally different. They're confident. They're proud. They're just really happy and they're able to provide something for their children that they weren't before. A safe place to live. Like it's what rightfully theirs. But when they actually achieve that and then they're able to make connections in the community, the kids can go to school and have friends over and they can, if you want to say a normal life, but it's just, it's so good to see. I love it. Or when they first open the door, if we furnish the house, that is like, you have to remain professional, but you do get the look in your throat. Yeah, and you do. And you're like, it's just so beautiful to be able to give that to a mum, and it's not that hard to do it.
Yeah.
It's actually not.
And I think that's why you say, like, it's not so much about setting a goal for the numbers of women and children housed, because we're always going to be fighting a tide. The demand will always be beyond our capacity.
Is it increasing the number of families?
Yes.
Is that?
Very much so.
Yeah.
However, I would say in terms of goals, the goal is the number of impact agents.
Yeah.
Because if we could get 6 more, ahead of International Women's Day on the 8th of March, I think we would be absolutely thrilled. That would be an achievable goal.
Yeah.
It's within reach. But 6 impact agents who say, look, I'm either going to commit to a year of rent top-up, $2,600. It's not much, right? No. Tax deductible. No. Or, hey, I'm actually going to become one of the agencies that puts forward my rentals for, 1 or 2 families even.
Yeah.
That would be great. So if we get maybe half a dozen of those in the next month or 2, I think we would be on track for a really great year, and we could feel really proud of that altogether.
Yeah. The donation is huge as well, because where like I said, the rent, it's just not come down. It's still really expensive, and going in on a single income to that, especially if you've been displaced or if you've been in refuge, trying to get back into the workforce from refuge is really difficult, because, who wants to sit in an interview and not be able to give an address? And, it's just, there's so many layers to it. So then it's a massive barrier for people exiting refuge, because I can't get a private rental because I can't afford it. But if we're able to say, we can top up their rent until they get back on their feet, they can do our Empowered for Employment program, metal, things like that, go back to study, then they can sustain it on their own down the track. But if we are able to give them that financial contribution, then we've created that opportunity. So, the more that we can do that, the better, because then where we have those people who have a portfolio where they're like, I don't have rentals that would be in your client's budget. Well, maybe you do if we were able to top up the rent,
One thing that I've definitely learned is that I didn't realise what impact a relatively small amount of money has for people. And in a different program that I help with, there's $1,000 grants, and $1,000 might be a grant for over it might just be helping, again, just top up someone's rent if they've had a rent increase. And you think, in my mind, when I first started doing it, $1,000, that's not going to be a game changer. But when you hear these case studies and you spread out $1,000 over 10 weeks or whatever, it made a massive difference. And so even $50 a week, I guess to a lot of us, if I'm going to be completely sort of ignorant, that you'd think, $50 a week, I can just not get Uber Eats one night or something stupid.
You can spend it in 10 minutes,
Absolutely. But to realise that the amount, $50 per week to a family that needs it is so massive.
It just means they might be the one that gets that much sought after lease.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
That one rental that is the only one that is available.
Yeah.
It's theirs.
Yeah.
It's really brilliant. And, 1,000, like you mentioned earlier, that's just the bond,
Yeah.
Meanwhile, we're supporting someone to get access to funds that are rightfully theirs. They're going through a settlement. They're going to be able to pay that rent, no problem. They just didn't have access to that bond. So just getting them what they needed in that short term to get over the hurdle, it can really make a big difference.
Yeah.
So 6 impact agents is what we're looking for. And if I really just break this down for business owners and property managers, what 2,600 looks like for a business owner is one management fee for the year. It's like you are donating out of your whole portfolio of, whether it's 50, 100, 500 properties, you're donating one management fee income to the program. That's it. And when we put it into the real basic terms like that, it's not a lot. So if as a business owner you can commit to that, to one, or maybe, how amazing would it be that for every 1 in 100 properties you donate, as an impact agent? What a great business plan to have to do that, or to have your team and say to your team, okay, for every 100 properties we get, we're going to do, one impact agent donation. A really great KPI for your team to work towards.
Women supporting women.
Yeah, and just a good business plan that, that's our plan for the business. We're going to do one donation for every 100 properties, and you then advertise that in your business and you market. That's what you do. You market it to your team. You market it to the public to say that's what we do. And I, again, just thinking of those ideas outside the box of how you can make it work in your business. And so I think
that shared goal actually among colleagues, really mobilise them, connect them to one another, normalise conversations around FDV in the workplace too, which is also a nice, important secondary effect. I think that would be, a really great business plan. I agree.
Yeah, and I just thought of another idea as well. So MyConnect is a utility company that we use and a lot of businesses use. They offer a really good commission structure, and there are some businesses out there who don't want to take the commission from the tenant utilities. And so as a business plan or as a shared goal, the other option is you could actually use your MyConnect commission and use that to donate as well. So as a team, you decide that we're going to use that commission as our donation each year as well. So again, it's just another idea of what you can do using your business that you're already running at the moment. So,
and then you're in great company with a whole bunch of other amazing impact agents.
Absolutely, absolutely. So this recording will be released, obviously, and you might be listening to it at different times, but it has been recorded at the start of 2025. And so one thing that I try to do is doing a charity event each year as well. And so we've got the charity event, which we have been the last couple of years been doing it around the International Women's Day, which we're doing again this year, where we have silent auctions and have a beautiful breakfast with a speaker, and all the profits from that will go through to Arana as well. So again, another way to support Arana is just to come to my event, a selfless plug.
It's good food.
It is good food.
Yeah.
So at this one, so we're having it at Bibb and Tucker. It's 3 courses, and obviously, I'm trying to keep the costs down because, all the profits go to you guys. So the better I can get the costings, the more that you guys I can pass on to you. So they gave us a 3-course option, and I was like, 3 courses is we don't need 3-course breakfast. I mean, but
that's a lot.
It's a lot for people that don't even eat breakfast, So, but she assured me that it was a very sort of small sort of first and third course, and then your breakfast in between. So, so it should be absolutely beautiful. And we've got Heidi Anderson, who do you guys know Heidi?
She's so cool.
Yeah. Have you seen her? Do you follow her?
Oh, I think you. No.
Okay.
But the name is so familiar. I don't know why.
Yeah, she's talking a lot about courage, and she does a lot in that space. So relevant, but a little bit left of sort of what we're doing, and she'll be really great to listen to. And I've organised a signed book for every single person coming as well, so they'll have them, which is really cool.
And you've got the beautiful view of Leighton Beach.
Yes,
and Bibb and Tucker is delicious.
Yes, I haven't been there for years.
It's
so
like my favourite special occasion place.
Nice, nice. So I'm looking forward to that. So I guess that's sort of one thing that I personally do. But again, in your business, maybe you have a internal charity event. Maybe you do a charity event for your investors or your tenants, and you can also raise funds. I'm just trying to drop all these ideas that people can do inside their businesses to help and lots of ideas.
And we love visiting our impact agents. We'll come out, we'll chat with the team, we'll explain a lot more about Arana House and the work we're doing right here. And sometimes that can be quite inspiring and motivating for the team too, just to know that contribution, what it is doing in real terms, so close to home.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're always up for it. Yeah.
We're a very small, locally based charity. Our refuge is in the city of Bayswater. We've got transitional properties around Perth, but the need here is enormous, and so there's a lot of good people can do.
Yeah, perfect. Well, it was lovely having you both in today. Apologies that I didn't do any of those questions that I
don't think you did one.
I love to go off script.
Well, always good to chat.
It is. It's my style. I only give you the questions for your own peace of mind before you come in, but I should put a disclaimer on there. They may not be asked. But you guys did very, very well, and great discussion, again, for both property managers, business owners, investors as well, and I hope that definitely shed some more insight into how you can work and live with purpose very easily, doing exactly what you're already doing.
Many real estate agents across Australia confidently refer Property Insurance Plus to their clients as they recognise the price and benefit value of their policy combined with the client-focused service they deliver. They offer a comprehensive building and landlord insurance facility and have formed a powerhouse to present the very very best in investment property insurance. Contact PIP today to find out more.